Salut, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. The Almost Three, a rock blues crossover band from North Rhine-Westphalia, released their aptly named third album, Three. Basically, all three members of the band are veterans on stage, and they managed to deliver quite a compelling mix of rock music with various different influences. Now, the band describes itself as a blues crossover band, but at least judging by this album, I really feel rock crossover is far more fitting, even though in the end it's all just semantics. But because while there most certainly are blues influences in their music to be found, I found the rock elements to be far more dominant overall, right down to the intro of the album with its stompy, slow-paced guitar riffs. Not that the album can't pick up speed, but Welcome is really a fitting opener and represents the overall mood of the album quite well, I feel, albeit it falls short of showing how diverse this album is really. Not only do we have fast-paced, upbeat songs on here like Bad News or That's Blues, which strangely confesses one's love to a highway, but we also have very mellow and slow tracks like Bag of Sweets, which it's almost creepy in how it uses analogies for a loved one, but is underlined by almost melancholic bass lines and very slow-paced drums in the background. Or we have Phone Faces, which is all about social interaction in the mobile phone age. And I really have to hand it to these guys that they managed to make a song about it that doesn't come off as soapboxy or preachy. I think it's very easy to fall into this quote-unquote trap that an artist could just slam modern technology, maybe even just because they're an older generation who just don't get it. But the Almost Free steer clear of such cliches and instead turned to describing situations that maybe everybody knows by now, where one guy pulls out a phone because the conversation is slow and drags on and uninteresting. There's also a cover from the David Bowie song Let's Dance on this disc, which puts a more rockish note on the track with a lot of playful electric guitar riffs. Really not a bad cover, I feel, but also doesn't do something revolutionary to the track, and I think that the band could have gone a bit further instead of, let's say, just putting a fresh coat of paint on the song. They really didn't go crazy here. I think they could have put a lot more different elements into it because over the course of the album they prove that they can bring lots of different elements together into one track, and the Let's Dance cover basically just feels like they thought, yeah, we will play it a bit safe, a bit normal, so to say, and I think they could have just done more with it. But overall, as I said, it's not a bad cover. It feels like a little love letter to the track and to Bowie himself. There is very little I disliked on this album, actually. A few passages here and there tend to drag on for a bit, with one song in particular where one riff gets repeated so often that it felt almost black metalish in its repetition. But things like that are rather fleeting moments and basically forgotten with the next riff again. Really, the only song where I felt skipping after hearing it one or two times was Funk 2015, which doesn't honor its name by being not really funky at all, and the lyrics just consist of the same phrase getting shouted at you over and over again, really didn't appeal to me at all. And the band shows a wonderful diversity too, with rock being the dominant genre, but you can see influences from all kinds of other genres in there too, be it blues with its heavy bass lines, electric elements, or distortion of the vocals, which seem to be always present to a very slight degree. The vocals never sound really clean, but the distortion is so minuscule and small, it also doesn't sound very techno-y or anything like that. It still sounds organic, but you can hear there's something to it. They've done something with it. Of course, there are parts where the distortion is stronger and it becomes far more clear, and these passages make the vocals almost sound Daft Punk-ish. But most of the vocals are presented to you in this just slightly distorted mix. Either that or vocalist Martin Ettrich has the strangest voice I've ever heard, in which case I will apologize for the misrepresentation. And even the aforementioned Funk 2015, which I really didn't like, comes to mind with some pretty cool trumpet and horn sounds that it just throws into this rock mix. The album then ends on a 7-minute almost instrumental called Black and Blue, which picks up many of the elements presented to you on the album already and just packs them all into one long track. So if you like rock, this is an album worth checking out, definitely, I would say. It does a lot of interesting things, takes a lot of little bits from other genres, and packs it all into one album with quite some pepper in its ass, as we Germans say. There's a lot to love if you like rock, and if you haven't dabbled into the genre much as of yet, maybe that's also a good starting point for you because it shows really well how diverse this style of music can be. So, yeah, definitely a recommendation from my side for this. If you like rock, check it out. The Almost Free with the album 3. So, I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like. If you want more German music stuff, just subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on social media, be it Twitter or Facebook. You can find the links to that in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. I will see you next time around. Salida.